From the Ministry of the Presidency in Georgetown, this is This Week with the President, with Janelle Carter.
Welcome to another edition of This Week with the President, a weekly news magazine which provides you with an in-depth look at the policies, programs, and work of the President of Guyana in his quest to realize the good life for all Guyanese. I'm your host, Janelle Carter. In the news this week, Commonwealth stands firmly with Guyana on the Venezuela border controversy. Improved remuneration, better equipment for police as President Granger gives nod of approval for the launch of Operation Dragnet to tackle crime, and London-based oil company seeking possible exploration opportunities in Guyana. When the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting wrapped up on November 29th, the international body, as expected, released the 2015 communique, which outlined strong support for Guyana's position on the Venezuela border controversy. President David Granger welcomed the support and expressed his gratitude on behalf of all Guyanese to the Commonwealth for promoting the advancement of the process to bring finality to the issue.
The President, during a special recording of the public interest in Malta, said Guyanese can be satisfied that this year the controversy has moved closer to being resolved than it has been for 50 years, particularly over the last 6 months.
We do feel that the final communique gives full expression to the desires of the Guyana government to have the territorial issue placed fully before the international community. It is embedded in the communique, and we're very satisfied with the text of the communique, specifically with regard to the territorial matter.
The communique states the Geneva Agreement of 1966 between the parties provides a range of mechanisms for an expeditious solution to the controversy arising from Venezuela's contention of invalidity of the 1899 arbitral award, which definitively settled the land boundary between Guyana and Venezuela. The Commonwealth's unequivocal support for the safeguarding of Guyana's sovereignty and territorial integrity, as expressed in the document, is a stance President Granger appreciates, as the matter had been given prominence under the leadership of outgoing Commonwealth Secretary General Kamlesh Sharma.
And the Commonwealth has always been on our side, and we are very happy that under Secretary General Sharma, prominence has been given to not only the Guyana controversy, but also Belize and Cyprus. Our being here in Malta doesn't change things. The Commonwealth has stood by our side, and we appreciate that. But at this particular point in time, I'd like to say that under Secretary General Ban Ki-moon of the United Nations, there is a markedly increased or intensified engagement by the United Nations to bring the Guyana, also it's on some pressure from the Guyana government itself, to bring the territorial controversy to a conclusion by going for a juridical process. Now, the United Nations has not adopted that process, but under Secretary General Ban Ki-moon, there is, I would say, an intensified engagement. And we're moving much further along the road, much more quickly along the road to that conclusion. So I would say that what happened here in Malta complements what is taking place at the United Nations.
Also coming out of the Commonwealth meeting, Chairman of the Caribbean Community and Prime Minister of Barbados, Frondel Stewart, reaffirmed CARICOM's support for Guyana against Venezuela's unjustified territorial claims.
Still on the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting, Minister of Foreign Affairs Carl Greenidge, who also traveled to Malta as part of Guyana's delegation, said Guyana has to establish itself as a responsible international actor through the level and quality of diplomatic service it offers.
If Foreign Affairs does its job properly and effectively, it'll make it easier for Guyana to be recognized as a brand that is both trustworthy and one worth looking at. They're consistent, they're friendly, and so forth. That's the image you have of a responsible international actor. We have to establish ourselves in that regard.
Greenidge told the local media team in Malta that while the rest of the world will see pictures of Guyana, hear about its natural resources and about the products it has to market, it is the country projects at the international level that really influences the way it is seen globally.
Guyana, at the level of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, has to be projected as a place that has characteristics that are desirable. That's one side. And we can list a number of things you want to say about the natural resource. But perhaps most importantly, in foreign affairs, you have to have a quality of diplomatic service that people will look at and listen to in the first place.
In keeping with this, President Granger and Minister Greenwich held several key bilateral meetings in the margins of the Commonwealth Meeting. The President and Minister Greenwich met with Deputy Prime Minister and Coordinator Minister for Economic and Social Policies of Singapore, Tharman Shanmugaratnam. President Granger said though Guyana has enjoyed good political relations with Singapore for a number of years, there has been a limited trade and economic relations. Meetings were also held with Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Kingdom of the Netherlands, Bart Kendor, and the United Kingdom, Hon Hugo Squire, Minister of State. Guyana also held meetings with the Maldives as well as informal discussions with other heads of state, including with Uganda.
President David Granger says plans are in train to overhaul the local security sector. This includes providing better training, equipment, and remuneration packages for police officers. The 2016 national budget, which is likely to be read in January, is expected to include these key security measures. Let's take a more in-depth look at the administration's holistic approach to addressing security throughout the country.
The President has instructed Minister of Public Security Kamrat Ramjatan to start Operation Dragnet, which would see collaboration among all security and law enforcement agencies countrywide. Operations Dragnet commenced on December 1, 2015 and will continue until June 2016. Its main objectives are to boost crime-fighting activities during the festive season and beyond, and to prepare Guyana to deal with potential border threats and the risk of international terrorism.
Operation Dragnet is a joint services operation in which the joint services, in coordination with other law enforcement and government agencies, will conduct intensified security operations throughout Guyana with effect from the 1st of December 2015, and that will run until about June of 2016. What that means is that all statutory security operations will be integrated into this Operation Dragnet, with the end result that we will have enhanced national security and enhanced national security environment.
Meanwhile, President Granger asserted that the prevailing crime situation in Guyana is in every respect the legacy of the damage that was inflicted on the Guyana Police Force, particularly since 1999. He also spoke of the interventions offered by the British government and the recommendations made by individual police organizations, commissions, and consultancies to address the problems within the force.
The previous administration methodically and systematically ignored recommendations for over 15 years. What we're seeing now is a legacy. It would have been impossible for us to turn around what occurred. Over the last 6 months, what has been occurring over the last 16 months. The police force is badly damaged. It was underfunded, under-equipped, the members were underpaid and under-motivated. Many of them ended up before the courts. We are now trying to correct the damage which has been done, and I expect that things will get better in the fullness of time. We've already approached the British government. I personally spoke with Mr. David Cameron, the British Prime Minister, to restore the Security Sector Reform Action Plan.
President Granger, however, noted that in recent months there have been improvements in the operations of the force, particularly with regards to crime fighting. Speaking on the increased remunerations for members of the Guyana Police Force, the President said that government will be guided by recommendations from the Commission of Inquiry set up to investigate the working conditions, wages, and other issues affecting public servants.
We hope to have a better equipped, better trained, better paid police force next year. And in due course, you will see the changes taking place. In fact, I would reckon, without even having the statistics at my disposal, that more crimes are being solved more quickly after they have been committed by the Guyana Police Force at present. More than ever before, measures are being taken at the international level, at the internal level of the police force. More personnel are being put into CID, and we'll bring crime under control.
He pointed out, too, that the force needs more assets, such as aircraft for coastland patrols and ATVs for the hinterland. The president also announced that the commander of F Division, Senior Superintendent Ravindradad Budram, is being transferred from Rabbit Walk Evelary to Bartica in an effort to clamp down on crime fighting in mining districts. As Commander-in-Chief, President Granger has been engaging the Minister of Public Security and high-ranking officials from the joint services every week to formulate strategies to deal with the dynamics of day-to-day crime fighting.
When we return, we'll take a look inside the president's diary. Thanks for staying with us. What does the president do all week? Let's take a look inside his diary.
On Wednesday, President David Granger was paid a courtesy call by Bishop Frederick Hilborn Talbot of the African Methodist Episcopal Church and his wife, Dr. Sylvia Talbot. Bishop Talbot, who currently resides in St. Croix, once served as permanent representative of Guyana to the United Nations, while Dr. Talbot served as Minister of Health in Guyana from 1969 to 1971. The following day, the president was paid a courtesy call by United States Ambassador Perry Holloway and Charge of Affairs Brian Hunt. They discussed a number of topical issues, including the impending local government elections.
I congratulated the president on the formal announcement of local elections. I think that's going to be a historic event, and local elections are the cornerstone of any healthy democracy.
Last month, Minister of Communities Ronald Bolkan announced that local government elections, which were last held in Guyana in 1994, will be held on March 18, 2016. Later on Thursday, President Granger met with a top official from Tullow Oil, John McKinnon, who was introduced to him by British High Commissioner Greg Quinn to discuss exploration opportunities.
For me, it was just an opportunity to meet the President and to explain to him a little about Tullow, and also to provide him background in terms of why we've been interested in Guyana for some time, to explain to him our current interests and any new business opportunities that we're looking at, and really just to give him a little bit of background on Tullow.
Tullow is an independent oil and gas exploration company that operates in over 20 countries. It is headquartered in London, United Kingdom. Its largest offshore exploration activities are in East and West Africa countries, Uganda, Kenya, and Ghana.
That brings us to the end of this edition of This Week with the President. Thank you for joining us. For regular updates on the Ministry of the Presidency, visit our website, www.motp.gov.gy. Like our Facebook page, Ministry of the Presidency, and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at MOPT Guyana. I'm Janelle Carter. Do have a safe and productive week ahead. Goodbye.